and basketball analysis with over 70 years combined experience. This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast.
Time for the Bob Ryan, Gary Tangway pod here on CLNS Media, brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of CLNS Media Network. Pick more, pick less with Prize Picks. Okay, Bob. Kendrick Perkins had some words that you certainly caught your attention.
Kendrick Perkins, who is, it's fun.
He's a great TV personality. I think he's great for the broadcast. He's great for the game, whether you agree with him or not.
No, no one's 100%, on target, but this is off base. He has said, and I can't have the exact words, but the basis of it is, and he's sticking up for LeBron. Okay, fine. I stick up for LeBron too. Okay. And in every way, and not every way, but most ways, I stick up for him. But he's saying that if LeBron played 30 years ago, we never would have heard of Michael Jordan.
Right.
Now obviously there's hyperbole, and
Perk's an entertainer. He's great.
He's always trying to say is LeBron's better than Michael. Okay. Now that's a fun discussion that we all love in basketball, and I've got my succinct answer is that LeBron is bigger, stronger, faster, a better passer, a better rebounder than Michael Jordan ever was. But if I'm playing for my life tonight, it's no question I want Michael Jordan because he's the ruthless competitor at a high level that we have ever seen. Now the other guy, people say, what about Bill Russell? Well, that's once again, that's a different thing. Centers, when we actually had centers, they're always in their own category. But in terms of other positional players in the history, the non-centers, Michael Jordan is the most ruthless, great competitor. The closest thing to him was Kobe. Kobe's 1A. He's Michael Light, but it ain't LeBron. And LeBron, I'm sorry, LeBron is a nicer person in a sense. It isn't in him to be that way. He didn't. LeBron had to be coaxed into being the best player on the floor. And I'll say this again: the two great differences. A great difference is how each of them ascended to the top of the mountain in their respective times. Michael in the 70s and 80s and 90s, excuse me, and LeBron in the teens and in the 20s, is that Michael won championships when he learned how to share. That the Michael Jordan of 87 and 8 would not have made those passes that he made the John Paxson and Steve Kerr that won championships for that team. Okay. Meanwhile, conversely, LeBron didn't win until he learned how to assume the responsibility of being the best player on the floor and acting accordingly and appropriately. He literally quit against the Celtics and the next year he didn't really want the ball the way he should have against the Mavericks when the Mavericks won that championship. Well, somewhere along the way, I don't know who got to him or he figured it out. He got the message and he got it down right and he gets it down now. Okay. But he had to learn that I'm the best guy. I got to accept that. And that's a very different personality than Michael Jordan, obviously. Okay. But technically, LeBron, Perk, what? Don't be so weak. It's outrageously stupid to say that. I think he was. You could say, well, I'd like that. I would take LeBron in a photo finish, or I'd take LeBron. But to say you never would have heard of Michael Jordan, that's a knock on the whole era. That's that. J.J. Riddick. They're playing against plumbers.
Right. Yeah.
That is the thinly veiled knock on the past players in general, not just on Michael Jordan. And I have very little time for these people that they think that athleticism was born in the 20th century, that we didn't have great players, great talents, great athletes. No, I'm sorry, Perk. You couldn't be more wrong.
Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. All you do is you pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you just watch those winnings roll right in. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Want to play Prize Picks alongside Drewski, Joe Budden, and MMA champ Sean Sugar O'Malley? You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each week. So this is how it works, okay? So you just pick more or less. So Aaron Rodgers, I got to pick He's going to throw more than 325 passing yards. How about that this week? Aaron Rodgers to throw more than 325 passing yards or less. Travis Kelce, less in 100-yard in receptions. That easy. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. What about MJ initially when he was drafted? We all know there was a lot of attention placed on LeBron. But what about Jordan?
Okay. Yeah, I love this topic. Okay. Somewhere along the line, it occurred to me to think about this in depth, if you will. And it's because when he was drafted, and he's a good way to start. He was the third pick in the draft. And the two people picked ahead of him were big people.
Right.
One is an Hall of Famer, unquestioned, one of the top 5 centers of all time. In fact, I think he's number 4, and that's Akeem Olajuwon. The other guy who was the first pick, the next pick by Portland was Sam Bowie, who injuries were the story. We'll never know. We'll never know about Sam Bowie. But he was still, it was an automatic that you would take those two centers, though, ahead of Michael Jordan. The draft, of course, was in June, and then the Olympics came, and he was on the Olympic team in 1984. And during the Olympic trials, it's when the Michael Jordan that we have come to know really started to take shape. The people were, and the guy who, Bob Knight, was blown away how good Michael Jordan is. Okay, and when he had him in his practices, and he's the guy that got people's attention with how good he was. Remember, Barkley, he cut Barkley because Barkley was a little heavier those days. But anyway, Michael Jordan turned out to be better than anyone dreamed. Okay, well, guess what? That is more often the case of the inner sanctum Hall of Famers. Very, very few weren't people who actually turned out to be better than people ever thought. Even if you thought they were going to be really good, they turned out to be spectacularly good. Exhibits A, Larry and Magic. Exhibit A is Larry. I mean, people, there were doubters, on the athleticism. He's too white, quote unquote. He's not. He doesn't jump high. He doesn't run fast, but he knows how to play basketball. Well, I mean, very few people projected Larry Bird to become the greatest forward of all time. That automatically, right. No. And Michael and Magic, the new Magic was good, but Mike turned out even better. I'll give you some modern example. Steph Curry was 7th pick in the draft. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. He's a candidate for Mount Rushmore. He's better than people thought. Here's the short list of people that jump out at me in the history of the game, the modern history, of the game that turned out to live up to all the hype, and didn't fall short of hype or exceeded any. They lived up to everything. Wilt was a mega high school star,
right?
A college star. He turned out to be Wilt, the Wilt Chamberlain. Kareem, the greatest career of all, lost 4 games in between his sophomore year in high school and his into college. By the way, Kareem, and he turned out to be 5-time MVP, I believe, and who he is. He's Kareem, okay. And the answer is nobody. LeBron, excuse me, he's the 4th. LeBron, cover of Sports Illustrated, age 16. He's the second coming.
What about Kobe? What about Kobe?
Not quite the level. He didn't have the notoriety, national ultimate that LeBron had, but regionally, yeah, that's a fair possibility.
Here's my thing with Kobe. He was obviously, God rest, he was a great player. I think Kobe benefited from the media a little bit at the time. Now everybody's covered, right?
Yeah.
So I think that because he had been with his dad, Kobe was a very smart guy. We all know, multilingual. He wore the sunglasses. He acted like Jordan. Kobe as a young man was good TV. So I think we got exposed to him on that. But I don't know I think he get the attention because A, technology, and B, he was really good in front of the camera. Um, and that's hard to, you know, that's part of the hype machine. So I'd maybe make him 3.5 because of the hype.
Now there are fans of various players that are going to say, "What about my guy?" Example, coming out of college, Dominique was pretty hyped. Okay, and Dominique had a great Hall of Fame career. He wasn't Bird or Magic,
Right?
Or Michael, but he was the next level. A very, very good of the Hall of the Damned. He's just an unquestioned Hall of Famer. But then another guy who's turned out we knew we liked him in college, but Durant turned out to be even better than people thought. He's more versatile.
Oh, there's no doubt because he was a one and done.
Durant, yeah. So
yeah, Durant, is he too thin? Is he going to be strong enough? Can his body hold up?
Yeah. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
But he's an unquestioned all-time great.
Plus these kids are 19 now when they're coming out. So you're like, they're so many like LeBron. One of the reasons why LeBron was and is LeBron is he was body ready. I mean, even Jason Tatum, right, Bob? I mean, Tatum at 19, he wasn't ready for this league.
No, he wasn't
physically. No way.
No, he had to grow. So the point is so Michael Jordan. Back to the original question. Yeah, Michael Jordan. He was, we discovered him, and he wasn't. First of all, he wasn't ballyhooed in high school outside of
Not at all.
Carolina. Nobody knew him outside the state of North Carolina. Okay, unlike LeBron, unlike Lou Alcindor, Kareem, unlike Wilt, nobody knew him at the time. I'll tell you another one of the most ballyhooed high school players of all time who lived up to his hype that people forget. Jerry Lucas. Jerry Lucas was was one of the most recruited in the 50s. His recruiting stories, his high school exploits in Middletown, Ohio, are still legendary in the state of Ohio. He goes to Ohio State. They win the championship as a sophomore. They go to the finals twice. He's hurt in one of those. They might have won. They should have won 2 out of 3, but he only won 1. And then he goes to, and he was a great player. He wasn't. People don't, but not. He was a great. I think he basically lived up to what he should have. But that's another possibility. But the fact is that most of the players, they all work on their game. They get better. But look at Barkley. I mean, Barkley turned out to be, even better than much better. Not much better. You can go on and on. But LeBron fits into the category. LeBron has lived up. You cannot possibly denigrate tear down and say he hasn't lived up to that Sports Illustrated hype at 16. He's lived up to it.
Look, there's nothing like seeing a game live. I mean, watching it on TV is great. We have all the technology. We have our phones. We have access to everything. But being there in person is definitely the way to go. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. For example, coming up in October, $147 to see the Dolphins at New England. That's a good deal, folks. That's an AFC each grudge match. Also, great deals on BC tickets, Boston College tickets, as they're headed in the right direction over at the Heights. Curated deals make it easier to find the best price on great seats. You got the super deal. Seat views before you buy. Lowest price guarantee, even cancellation protection, job loss protection. They've got so many different angles for you. Game Time Picks. Curation makes it easier for you to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, and theater. You could toggle along with all-in pricing. The feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Plus, you get a great view from your seat. Get a panoramic view from the seats that you're about to buy. You don't have to buy them, and you get the view, so you know what you're getting. Lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. I wonder what Duncan would have done with another organization.
Duncan and Pop were the perfect marriage, right. because Duncan is low key, Pop's no BS, Pop's not glamour. He was, and their temperaments. He was so lucky to have. It's like Russell and Red were a perfect marriage. Red understood how to, and he hated, you want to say the word handle, how to nourish Russell. I'll put it that way. And Russell appreciated the Reds' sensibility.
Manage. I mean, those guys, knew how to manage players.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what your coach are. You whether you're in business or a team. I mean, you're managing personalities.
I'll give you two others that I have to say. I almost forgot him. I'd be burying the lead. Oscar Robertson definitely lived up to everything, and Jerry West, the two of them, they lived up to everything that they were supposed to be. And Oscar at Crispus Attucks, they were the first all-black school to win the state championship. He goes to Final Fours, he doesn't win, and then Oscar Robertson, in the NBA, a superb career, phenomenal career. I don't know how many times first team All-Star, at least 10.
I'll throw one name at you.
The only non-center to win an MVP in a 20-year period when the league was big men. The one guy to break through was Oscar Robertson.
Oscar Robertson. As we wrap up, what about Akeem the Dream?
Well, better.
Right. I mean, look, the whole college team got a lot of attention.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But right. I mean, those two, those
he was coming out big. He was number one pick, but it turned out to be even better. I mean, he's the guy who proves this rule. He absolutely turned out to be better.
Right. That's what I thought.
He improved technically. His passing, he wasn't he couldn't pass the ball the way at the end, the way he did in the beginning, the way he did at the end. He could always rebound. He had that beautiful footwork and all that, but he expanded his range and he became a terrific all-around player.
And I know it coincides with Michael leaving the game for a little bit for baseball, but he was awesome. I mean, those teams. I mean, when Houston won back-to-backs, he was awesome to watch.
Now, another guy you can make the case for it. See, I'm not knocking him. He's just not my favorite because I do have one quarrel with him, and that's Shaq.
Well, I know, yeah, I know you're not big on
Shaq's rebounding thing drives me.
Rebounding.
He led the league in rebounding.
Shaq did everything I expected him to. I mean, I don't.
No, I mean, but anyway, the fact is that these guys turn out to be better. But just from the sheer height, the trio, and of course Russell's exhibit A of he was barely recruited out of high school.
Right.
Barely recruited. I mean, there was an alum that had a thing. He almost, how DeJulia's name was, I think. Anyway, Russell was nobody special out of high school. Nothing. And look what he turned out to be. So.
Well, to me, the current example for this is Curry.
Yeah.
Curry is the one where, he went to a mid-major, right?
Yeah.
And a nice player, but, to become the greatest shooter of all time and to win rings and to be one of the most feared offensive players in the game, never thought that was going to happen. Never.
Absolutely. Yep. Curry's it.
Bob, always a pleasure, my friend. Gary Tanguay, Bob Ryan, brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of CLNS Media Network. Pick more, pick less with Prize Picks.